Look, this stage of a campaign, from your experience, does everyone, no matter how many babies they're kissing or hands they're shaking or smiling, everyone wants it to be over by the Thursday before polling day, don't they?
Yes, and a lot of people have already voted.
Yeah.
But yes, I think we're in that final straight, as we say, and there's only so much that can be done. And there will be people who will decide in the polling booth how they're going to vote, and a lot of that will be around their general feeling about things. So it's supposed to be about 10%. So you never quite know. You can still influence a few people, but not. All
right, but the returns get more and more marginal the closer polling day is, right? So you might kiss a baby and only get half a vote out of it. Judith, we would, if we look across the polls and everything, they are... What? Are you allowed to kiss babies this time?
Don't kiss other people.
Babies...
Not generally, no.
Oh, not these days. No, you're in all sorts of trouble, aren't you? Judith, do you... I mean, sometimes politicians say, bugger the pollsters, that's all wrong. There is a pretty uniform picture emerging, isn't there? And that is that ACT and National don't quite get there without Winston or Winston agreeing not to stuff things up for them.
I guess it depends on those last... how many? It's about another 1.5 million people to vote. Look, it's very strong in my electorate in Papakura for a change of government, and I just don't know until, and I think that's the thing, you never really know until the 7:00 on Saturday night just how things are going to pan out. But I feel very strongly that there is going to be a change of government, and it's up to the people quite what that form of government is.
Yep, I wouldn't disagree with you. How do you feel personally watching this? I mean, and I'm not being mean to you, and you know, you've been around a while, so it's not your first rodeo either, or Gymkhana. You must feel some regret. God, Luxon's going to win an election and I didn't get that chance, or I got thumped last time. How does it feel personally watching this campaign unfold?
No, it actually feels really good, Sean. And as you know, last time I took over after as the third leader in, I think, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like extraordinary in a campaign. All the billboards done with Todd Muller, and before that, all the work done with Simon Bridges. I mean, honestly, and it was fighting COVID and Ardunian Factor. So the whole thing was just so hard. But I have been so enjoying this, and I really enjoy working with Chris Luxon. So people often ask me, what's he really like? And I said, well, actually, he's highly intelligent, does the work, and doesn't, you know, the great thing is, Sean, he just lets me get on, do my job, and I just love that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's he like? Because haven't seen hide nor hear of him. Does he not like the platform, Judith?
Well, I don't think that that's the case. I just think he's got his media run that he does, and that's what he does. And look, frankly, I'm not his mother, so, you know, it's like I just do my job.
All right, we can put that rumour to bed. That was my next question. Judith, do you think, I'm going to be honest, I think National and the centre-right could have done better this election if it had been a little bolder, and I get the feeling that he's a very poll-driven data analytics kind of guy. I actually think the centre-right could have done with a bit more mongrel and, to be honest, a bit more Crusher Collins attitude this election.
Oh, I know. I don't know about that. I think that we've been very bold around things like, for instance, the biotech, you know, the GE and GM work. I mean, that was pretty bold. And it was something that we couldn't have done 3 years ago. And Chris Luxon absolutely backed me to do it. Now, you're doing things like that, suddenly you start entirely different conversation about how to grow the economy. And that sort of work and his attitude towards tech and science and things have been great. So from my point of view, he's been pretty jolly bold. And the point is, though, is you've got to be able to bring people with you. And, you know, we've been able to do that on those areas, but there's no point trying to tell everybody what you're going to do if you don't have the votes to do it.
Yeah. What do you think of Seymour's campaign?
well, I guess that you've made a statement about how he's been a bit obsessed with Mr. Peters, but look, I think it's always a lot harder when you suddenly come to this pointy and sharp end in an election campaign. And I think also you've got the two major parties, National and the other one, Labour. And I just think Chris Luxon is so much better than Chris Hipkins in just about every form of.
See, there you go. You're
campaign.
good. You're
So
on message. You're staying on message, aren't you?
Well, it's because I believe it. You see, Sean, it's not my first rodeo either.